Welcome everyone to Consistently Creative Crew's monthly VIP class. This is Cheryl, and Colleen and Kari are here with me, and we make up the Consistently Creative Crew, and we're glad you could join us this evening or watch here on video. Tonight we're going to be doing Christmas Charm, and this is my sample layout. Here are the project recipe instructions. And I did do a couple of things different here because I used a bit of a busy paper for my background. I felt that my bows did not show up. So when I did the bows, I actually mounted them on a little strip of white.
Oh.
But we're not going to do that. Unless, like, if you pick a busy piece of paper, you might want to do that. But when I do the actual class, I picked the plaid. I picked a plaid similar to what they did, so I won't have to do that. But it was very busy, and the bows didn't show up, so I did that differently. And then I did also do. I did not have a little picture to go here, so I took the little mat and I turned it into a Christmas tree. So I'll show you how to do that if you guys want to try and do the Christmas tree. But basically, we have two base papers that we're going to use, and we're going to cut apart two pieces of designer paper. And you could potentially, if you really only had one piece of designer paper, you could use cardstock as your designer paper too, because it's basically all mats. And the only thing is they did reverse one here, so it's a double-sided thing that they used. So anyway, on this sample that I did, I actually did use cardstock for the bow part of that. But anyway, we will follow the instructions as best we can on the layout. So this is the plaid paper that I'm going to use as my background, which I'll set aside for now. And then my designer paper number 1, I'm going to be using the red because it's mostly, that's what's going to be, we're going to be using the ribbons and bows border punch. And depending on whatever papers you have or whatever project you're going to work on, you basically could do any border or even a border maker cartridge across. All right, so we'll start with designer paper number 1. And we're basically just going to start punching that with our border, the border punch. So on the border punch, you start here in the front. When you're just going to do a border, you start right at that black line. Go ahead and slide your paper in, line it up with the black line. And I do what I call the pinch in the back, pushing the paper to the back of the tray. And we're going to slide it through. And this one luckily has a little triangle right there that we're going to line up, and just keep bringing that across, lining up the triangle. And as I'm doing this, I just keep pinching back here to make sure the paper stays nice and tight across the tray. And then on the last one, we just line it up and carefully punch. So there's one. And we're going to do this twice. I'm just going to flip my paper around this way to keep the edge flat because I have the little triangles down here. So I just flipped it to the other edge, but basically it's going to be doing the same thing. So slide your paper through, line it up with the triangle. What papers is everybody else using tonight? Everybody's probably on mute.
Can you use, sorry, can you use paper as well as the border punch?
Yes, you can use a border maker.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh, it's got green on the other sides. All right, so we're going to end up with our 2 borders. And then we're going to use our border punch again in one little minute, but I'm first going to just straighten out my edge here and get rid of these little triangles. from the punch. So make a nice straight edge there. And then I'll flip this way. And so now we're going to cut the two mats, two 4x6 mats. So our first cut is going to be at 4 inches. And then the next one's going to be at 4 inches. You'll have a little bit left over here. This is extra. You may want to cut another border with that later, so hang on to that. And then we're going to rotate and cut. I'm stacking the two papers. So I'm just going to cut at 6 inches. So I am getting, it's basically you're going to end up with 4 4x6, but we're going to cut this one. We're actually going to punch some more borders out of here. So you have 3 4x6 photo mats that you're going to keep. And then the last 4x6, we're just going to punch that again. And we'll be using that for the extra. There's some little decorations that we're going to make on our page. Oops, slide that through one more. So just go ahead and get as many bows as you can get out of the 6-inch piece that we have here. Oop. The little triangle, gonna keep lining the triangle up. That's nice that they make the little triangle on there now because it's easier to line it up. All right, so we have our bows. We may end up wanting to keep that little scrap, so you can hang on to that little scrap. But we're done with the punch for now. So then our designer paper number 2. We're basically making all of the photo mats. And I think I'm going to have mine going in this direction. I think most of the squares are not directional, so it doesn't matter. This is not from Christmas Charm. This is from the fall
Autumn Cottage.
Autumn Cottage. So I liked the color, the gold that's in here, and this is kind of like a sweater pattern, which I thought was kind of cool. And I thought the yellow would look nice. All right, so our first cut on our designer paper number 2 is at 3 3/4. Okay, so we're going to cut down at 3 3/4, and we're going to be cutting 6 3 3/4 squares. So the first cut's at 3 3/4, and we're just going to cut another one at 3 3/4. And then the last one is going to be a 4 by 4 inches. And there will be a little bit left over. I'll put that one over there for now. So we have these 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 inch wide, and we're going to turn that. And we're going to cut them at 3 3/4. So I've stacked them, obviously. So 3 3/4 once. 3 3/4 again. And we're actually going to do it one more time, and we'll have a little scrap left over. And so we'll have this little bit left over. So we end up with 6 3 3/4 squares. Okay. Is everybody caught up with me or should I wait a second?
Almost.
Okay. So we're basically just cutting our photo mats here. So this last one, so we turned the piece of paper that we cut at 4 inches and we turned it and we're cutting it at 6. So we have the 4x6 mat. And then we have another one, but we're going to cut this one up. And on mine, I will end up with a yellow Christmas tree. So I may not do that on this one, but I'll show you guys how to do it though.
Cheryl, isn't
so-
three? Isn't it 3?
Yes, so this last cut M here, we're gonna cut it at 3 inches because it's 4 inches. So if you see the measurement on here is 4x3. So we already have the 4-inch cut. So now we're cutting the 3.
What is this for?
This is for the photo mat that goes right here. I
Okay.
cut mine into a Christmas tree shape because I didn't have a photo for there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to hold off on that because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a photo that's
Yeah, so we'll just leave that for now. So we're gonna move on to the last 2 cuts, which are 2x2 squares. So 2x2 squares. And so you're first gonna cut it at 2 inches the long way. You'll have that scrap left over and then just turn it. And so you've got, these are basically gonna end up being gifts packages if you want that. So I will show you how to cut this one into a tree. Or I'll just explain it because I don't think I'm going to cut this into a tree because I think a yellow tree might look a little silly. But this is the piece that's left over, and if your piece happens to be green or a color that you might want to make a tree out of, this is 3 inches wide, and so I just marked it in the middle at the top. So I could just cut from that corner to that corner. So I just cut that off at the middle there, and then I cut it like this. I'm just going to explain it. I'm not going to do it. Cut it here, and then I flipped it over, and then I did the same thing from here to this point to make the triangle shape. And then you end up with these little triangles, and then I turned them over to make the extra parts on the tree. Okay. I just kept cutting the triangles shorter so I could have them sticking out underneath. All right. So all of our pieces have been cut, so we can do a dry fit here. There's another 2 base pages. And the way they did it was starting from the bottom, 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom, and 1/4 an inch over from the edge, and then you center this one. It ends up being a little smaller than 1/4 of an inch. All right. So basically I'll go like that. This one's going to end up over here. This is the one that was going to be the tree. And then these are the 2 packages if we're going to make packages out of it. So what I did when I was fitting these down, I put my ruler across at the 4-inch and then over here at the 8-inch. And so I did it with Repos so you can move it a little bit. It doesn't go exactly where you want, but if you line your paper up on your 13-inch mat, you guys see this? Push your edge right up to the edge of your ruler there. Okay. And it was not quite 1/4 of an inch in between. If you see how I'm kind of centering those, kind of not quite a 1/4 of an inch. It's a little bit less because to work out evenly. So anyway, that's how I lined them up and got it nice and straight with the ruler. Oh, on a refill, of course. Just and so if we line this up here in our map. And then line this up at the 4 again. And the 8 on the other side. Here's some funny noises. Whoop, that one moved up a little. Hang on, my 4 moved up. There we go. Somebody practicing an instrument?
I think so. Yes, I muted them.
Sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't
Oh,
muted.
that's okay. No worries. Oh, they can come play for us later. All right, I have to go run and get some more repo. It's not too far. All right, sorry about that.
I got my layout done. The paper.
Yay. Perfect. Now, if you happen to, if your border shows up nicely on your paper, you're, good to go to just lay your border down. Let's see what it looks like. I think I'm gonna like my red on the green. Oh yeah, that looks good. I don't need anything white behind that. I felt like I needed it on my other one. So I basically cut a little bit wider than 1 inch and I used the decorative trimmer to just give myself a nice background for my bow. But I don't think we need it here. So go ahead and put your borders down and I use the repo here. And the location is right above these mats. Just want to make a nice line. So it ends up being, mine ends up being at the bottom of, well, the middle of my bow thing is at 4.5 inches. Okay. So it's about 4.5 inches up from the bottom. So on this side, it's at the 8.5. Oops. But basically just right above your little packet, your photo mats there. They kind of look like little gifts, don't they? Go ahead and put this on. Again. So see my bow, the middle of my bow is right at the 4.5. And then the 8.5. Oop, went up a little in the middle there. There we go. All right. Nope, forgot about these. These are the red ones. And then this one goes over here like so. They did have quite a bit of a space there at the top. Almost looks like about 1 inch, I would say. Yeah, so if I look, here's 1 inch right there. Maybe a smidge up above the inch. And then they had this one kind of close right over to here so that you can put some embellishing over here. All right. Does anybody have any questions? what they did on this piece over here, they tilted it here the way I have it tilted here. And then this was the extra bows that we cut. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have plenty here. If you wanted to just make a topper like that for this, you could do that. I don't think I have a picture to go there, so I may do I may do something else. I may make a gold tree. We'll see. I'm not sure. But if nobody has any questions, I mean, we're just basically going to go and fill in our photographs here and do some embellishing. So we can stop the recording for now. All right, so here we are with our finished layout. We did the mats across the bottom. I had one photo here that I couldn't cut any smaller, so I just, you do what works for your photos. What I did here is I didn't have another photo that size, so I just made a little embellishment cluster with some Christmas trees. It didn't make sense to make a tree out of the square. I just added some embellishing here, and then these are the packages. And I did just want to show you that when you go to use just a bow, you're going to want to round that. So take your scissors and just go around the shape to make a single bow.
Bring it down lower,
Oh,
Cheryl.
higher. Oh, lower.
Lower.
Yeah. There you go.
So you're cutting around your shape because you don't want to cut it straight and have a flat bow. So you just want to have your nice curly bow there. And then those go on top of your packages over here. And there were some very nice stickers, the gift of family over here. And I did not care for the other side of this paper. So I did not flip this one. So whatever works with whatever paper you're using and your photos. So we have some others who made some lovely layouts that they would like to share. So where's Miss? We'll start with Deanna.
I used the Autumn Harvest, which was last year's fall collection. And I used a sticker in the spot that Cheryl used the red bows.
That looks fantastic.
Thank you.
And all of the paper coordinates beautifully, obviously with the sticker because it came with that collection, but that looks really good. And I love the piece of wood that you made, the embellishment cluster on the bottom there. That looks fantastic.
Thank you.
And so hold up your paper there again and go to your left. Is there going to be your right? Oh, you're right. You're right. Sorry. Go to your right. Keep a little more. There, see where she made a journaling square out of that square that was the one for I made embellishment and they had it as a photo, but she's made a journaling square there. So do whatever works with your layout. That looks fantastic. Thank you. Anybody else want to share? Kari or Lynn want to share the digital?
I can show mine. I don't have any pictures in it though.
That's okay. So Lynn did digitally. So how's her screen?
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, look at the bows. That's great.
That looks great.
So
Very
I
nice.
don't know what pictures I'll put in there, but I wanted to do the bows. I wanted a challenge.
Nice.
That looks good.
That's
fun.
awesome.
Thank you.
Did Kari do one?
I did.
Okay.
Ola, do you want to show yours?
I can.
Whoops, make it bigger.
Oh, what a cutie.
Oh,
Thanksgiving this year, I used
oh, cool.
a spring bundled workshop collection.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks.
Very nice.
Very
It's
good.
a very screwy Thanksgiving this year, so this is a good page for a screwy. I had to definitely get creative.
Very nice.
Well, that's good.
It's good.
Thanks. I can't say I'm current yet because I haven't done this stuff before, but you know.
That's okay.
Okay.
Carmen, do you want to show yours? And you're muted, so if you're talking, we can't hear you.
All right. I haven't decided on photos, but
Oh,
Oh,
pretty.
nice.
Cute.
I like
Very
this.
cute.
I'll be able to do this. I know.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
Yeah, when
great.
you have photos, that'll go really
Yeah,
fast.
they look good together, the papers.
Very nice.
Love that. All right, I'll share my screen. I decided I wanted to use an old CM collection. I used Classic 'Tis the Season. And I looked at the date, it was from 2009.
Wow.
That's hard to believe, right?
Awesome.
So I
See,
stayed
you keep using
fairly
it when
true.
it's digital, right?
Yes.
The gift that keeps giving.
It does. And so even though I don't have any more of that paper anymore, I can still keep using it.
That's awesome.
And this candy was actually a sticker strip back in the day. So
I do remember that sticker. I
yeah.
don't remember the paper. I do remember all of the stickers that you have over there, but I don't remember the paper. But
Yeah, well, I mean, the paper just
Yeah.
was very, well, very
Subtle.
classic, right?
yeah, it's great. Very pretty.
Nice.
Very fun. Awesome. So I think we're done. So thanks so much, everyone. And we wish you happy holidays. And there are some holiday deals on the Creative Memories website. So go check them out if you're watching this in early December. But we wish you happy holidays.
Thanks, Cheryl.
For joining.
Thanks,
Thank
Cheryl.
you.
Night.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all. Bye-bye.